Ever been blissfully cruising on your bike through the British countryside or a busy European city only to have some plonker ruin the moment? If you haven't felt your blood boil from these scenarios, are you even a rider? Today we're breaking down 10 things that anger every biker. If these don't annoy you, do you even ride? And trust me, if none of these wind you up, you might want to check if you actually ride. Phone zombies behind the wheel. Nothing grinds a biker's gears faster than a driver who's daydreaming into their phone. You know the type, glancing at their screen, swerving a bit, then slamming on the brakes for no reason. In fact, a UK biker's blog notes that distracted drivers texting or prodding sat-navs often get uncomfortably close behind you, not pulling away from lights or straying over to the center line, because they aren't looking at the road. You're filtering past at a snail's pace, and Mr. Phone Face thinks you shouldn't be there. One wrong move from them, and we're barbecue on two wheels.
No way, no way, no way! What the?
It's enough to make any rider want to pop a brake light into their rearview mirror for good measure. If they're not busy texting into oblivion, they're probably parked on your back tire like a dog chasing a postman. Tailgaters from hell. And speaking of brake lights, what about those gits behind you who park up so close you can practically read their bumper sticker? Tailgaters on two wheels, just as dangerous as in a car. If you have to stop suddenly, you've suddenly got two hazards to deal with. As one UK source bluntly puts it, you pump your brakes once, fewer speed-related fatalities to the country, love, and they start honking or flashing at you like you're the one in the wrong. Come on, mate, this isn't bumper cars. It's terrifying when even a tiny bump from a follower would instantly catapult you and them into the nearest hedge. And let's be real, if it goes wrong, you're the one who's ending up in A&E, not them. It's like some people genuinely think bikers have instant stop buttons or force fields around them. Give us space or we might just embrace you on purpose, and trust me, no one's coming out of that looking clever. When they're not tailgating you, they're out there redefining how not to use a roundabout. Roundabout riders. Roundabouts are like a second home in the UK and Europe, but some drivers make them a bloody nightmare. Ever been in a mini roundabout and watched some muppet drift across 3 lanes without signaling? Indicating seems to be an optional extra for drivers of certain German cars, apparently. The classic joke goes that if a certain luxury brand ever does signal, you've already won the lottery that week. It's like playing traffic roulette. You stare, guess what they're doing, then throw up your hands as they cut you off at the last second. Other times they do a sudden U-turn, stop in your exit, or take so long with their indecision that you could have walked back home. Roundabout roulette ain't fun, it's just infuriating. If you think surviving a roundabout's stressful, wait till you try getting through traffic without losing your mind. The filtering fiasco. Filtering through traffic is a lifesaver till some moron decides to block your only escape route. We're not in America here. Lane splitting isn't how to overtake a queue. It's how you save your neck during a gridlock. Yet so many drivers either do not understand this or get pissed off by it. They'll even edge over to cut you off at lights, acting as if filtering is the mortal sin of the highway. One expert explains that filtering is legal for bikers, but too many drivers wrongly assume it's illegal and even position their cars to block you, which is incredibly dangerous. Seriously, don't make us regret using that mirror space. Let us through. We're much safer at the front of the queue than tucked behind your bumper. Speaking of traffic, it's not just car drivers that are a nightmare. Some of the worst offenders wear a backpack and an L plate. Reckless delivery riders on L plates. Ah, yes, cue the L-plate mayhem brigade, especially in cities. You've seen them, newly qualified on 125cc, still rocking their high-vis jacket from CBT class, zipping around as if the North Circular's MotoGP. It's like Grand Theft Moto out there. After a quick 2-hour CBT, they feel immortal, charging down one ways the wrong way or slaloming across the pavement. A survey of riders in London found that these gig economy couriers are under huge pressure. 56% admit to speeding, and an alarming 21% even run red lights when delivering. Oh, and 57% juggle their phone while riding to accept new orders. It's utter madness. They give the entire biking community a rotten rep. Because when one of these candy-striped clad spanners crashes, pedestrians and drivers point and say, "Motorcyclists are maniacs." One veteran biker put it bluntly, most of the idiot riders on L-plates lack road manners and common sense. A spot-on description, that is. And just when you think the madness is over, here comes another threat, this time flying straight out of someone's car window. Cigarette flickers and other litter bugs. What really floors us, roadside gardeners who think tossing a cigarette butt out the window is a bit of fun. There isn't a mere bit of litter, it's a flamethrower aimed at nearby riders. Insurance pros have warned that lit cigarettes getting lodged under a motorcycle's helmet or burning holes through clothes isn't just dark humor, it's an actual nightmare that's happened. Imagine cruising at 60 when someone's flaming fag bounces off the tarmac and finds your boot or, God forbid, your jacket. You gotta swerve, stop, or risk being burned alive. Flicking a butt should be as socially unacceptable as shooting flames at someone. Of course, it's not just flaming debris we have to dodge. Sometimes it's dust storms and drifting idiots trying to be helpful. Drifting, dust, and middle-of-the-road idiocy. Some drivers think they're being helpful, others just lack concentration. But the result is the same: chaos. There's the gentleman Greg who edges left at a light to let you filter by. Cheers, Greg. But now there's gravel spraying all over the windscreen because you couldn't see he was veering off. An insurance blog calls this drifting over to the extreme edge, well-intended but dangerous, stirring up debris that forces bikers into an unsafe pass. Then there's the slacker Sally who hogs the middle of the lane, texting as she creeps or swerving left to avoid a pothole. UK polls show lane drifting has skyrocketed, or maybe everyone's just mesmerized by TikTok. Either way, bikers hate it. We need the full width of our bit of tarmac to lean into corners safely, and some cars have turned that into a no-go zone. If dodging debris wasn't enough, you better have cat-like reflexes when you're passing parked cars. Doors and sudden moves. Picture this. You've squeezed into a tight London street, ready to filter past the parked cars when wham! A driver flings their door open without looking. Instant shrapnel. Motorcyclists know it's called dooring, and it's as deadly as it gets. One false move and you're airborne over a steel door, skidding on arm or calf. Every biker has a horror story of a near miss with a switched-on door. It's just lazy. Before pulling that handle, glance back like your life depends on it, because it does.
Why you open the door? You don't see?
A safety guide bluntly sums it up. Opening a car door blindly is a hazard for car drivers, but potentially deadly for bikers. It absolutely is. And what's worse, half the time they don't even realize what they've done. They just sit there clueless while you pick yourself up off the tarmac. It's not rocket science. Mirror, shoulder check, and then open the door. How hard can it be? Survive the swinging doors and you'll still have to deal with drivers who think blinding you at night is some kind of sport. Blinding beams and flashing fools. Ever feel like a vampire when someone hits you with their main beam? High beams can be handy for signaling, I see you, but in practice it feels like someone's shown a spotlight in your face. Especially in winter when your visor's already fogged or tinted. A car suddenly blasting you with full power headlights is like a prank from hell. One commentary notes that when a biker is struggling with a cold fog visor and a car suddenly comes on main beam, he's essentially rendered blind. Bloody great. And that's just the lights. Don't get me started on drivers who flash at us in anger like we can actually hear them. It's about as effective as waving a lollipop. If you want to communicate, try using indicators or just back off. Once your eyeballs recover, don't relax. The road itself is waiting to finish the job. The pothole plague and road chaos. Finally, riding British roads sometimes feels like a video game called Dodge the Potholes. One 2025 study found the UK has roughly 6 potholes per mile on council roads in England and Wales. That's a grand total of over 1 million potholes nationwide. Congratulations, infrastructure. Every time it rains, these sinkholes fill with water and disguise themselves as safe pavement. We've all nearly ended up airborne or worse because a mini crater tossed us skyward. Some of them are so deep you'd swear they were mining for oil underneath. Throw in random roadworks, unmarked speed humps, gravel patches, and the occasional suicidal sheep. In Cumbria or the Highlands, this happens, and our simple commute turns into a full-blown obstacle course. Motorcyclists don't have the luxury of airbags or cages. Those road defects are nightmares on 2 wheels. It's a miracle the UK roads aren't classified as an extreme sport. Honestly, we should start getting medals for surviving a wet Tuesday ride to work. And there you have it, the daily reality of being a biker in the UK and Europe. If you've been sitting there nodding, clenching your fists, and shouting yes at your screen, you're definitely one of us. Now it's your turn. Drop your biggest biking pet peeve in the comments. Let's turn the rage into solidarity. And if you enjoyed this little therapy session, do us a massive favor. Hit that like button, smash subscribe, and stick around. We've got plenty more rants, stories, and rider truths coming your way. Until next time, ride safe, ride smart, and remember, keep the rubber side down and stay shiny side up.